45, and after Pentecost and in Acts 2, they devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and the fellowship, to the breaking of bread and the prayers, and awe came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were being done through the apostles. All who believed were together and had all things in common, and they were selling their possessions and belongings and distributing the proceeds to all as any had need. So the main theme here is oneness, unity, connectedness, and there's a couple of different things that it touches on and how they were connected. So we see prayer. Corporate prayer, I used to think was like almost like an amplifier to prayer, but that's not what it actually does. It's not its purpose. When we gather together as a group to pray, it doesn't magically increase the effectiveness or the power of your prayers. What it does is create a sense of unity in the body. Because we're all part of one body,
right.
Church, but sometimes we can be divided, different sects, different groups, but when we come together and pray, we're all coming together for one common purpose, and it connects us, unites us. And then they broke bread together. That's one of our values, life on life. The other night, we had the privilege of going out with Eric and his wife and Bill and Shirley, and it was just a meal, but we were there for I think like 2 hours. You get relaxed, you talk, you learn about each other. It's just a great way to for like walls sort of come down. You let your guard down, you become relaxed, you open up, you learn about each other. What's next? Generosity at the end. It says it's another one of our values. They sold their possessions, gave to anyone who was in need. Sell your possessions.
How about that?
Oh,
you ready to do that yet, church? Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, I'm not saying sell everything you want.
Big one right there.
So, and then it says they were together and they had all things in common. That's an authentic, genuine community. Now, we know from the beginning of Acts 2 that these were different groups of people.
Right.
They spoke different languages
Right.
because of the Pentecost. They had different ethnic backgrounds. Jews, Gentiles, everyone, but they had all things in common. They were one community. So now, how do we get there? We're going to talk about next oneness with God. So we're going to jump to Genesis for a half a second.
Oh, come on.
And we know
Excited
at the fall, there was 2 trees. The tree of life, the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yeah.
We know they ate from the wrong tree. The fall happened, sin entered the world. Now, the sin wasn't necessarily just their disobedience. It was because they were eating from the wrong tree. Satan even says, you'll be like God, knowing good from evil. And whether they knew it consciously or not, they made the decision that they wanted to be like God. They thought they knew better.
That's right.
And they had a better will mapped out for their lives. So, all of the things I talked about, corporate prayer, generosity, eating together, those things can be done in the wrong way, so that if you're not first eating from the tree of life, which we know is Jesus in the New Testament, you can still be eating cursed fruit. Because, quick example, we'll start with prayer. In the church I grew up with, I was opposed to corporate prayer for years until I landed at Alive Again, and the prayer blaze sort of changed that. But I saw corporate prayer be used to, it sort of devolved into like, I've seen it devolve into interventions, attacking a single person, gripe sessions, gossip sessions. Like, these are all things that divide, they don't unite. That's not the purpose of praying together. So we need to make sure we're first, one, connected with God, praying individually, whether you have something to say or not. He just wants to hear from us, right?
Right.
So, you don't have anything to say, just say, hey, I don't have anything. God, he's your protector, comforter, best friend, first love. So my best friend on earth is Leah. How do we communicate? There are times I have nothing to say, my mind's just blank. She'll want to have a conversation, I'll be like, I got nothing to add. Like, that's just right? And that's true.
That's it, right?
That's it.
But she wants to hear that.
Yes.
Instead of just being silent and not responding, I just tell her that, I got nothing to say. And she hears that. God wants to hear from us. Right. What's next?
I love it.
Communion. Oh, that's another thing. Breaking the bread together. We also do communion, which sometimes, you take the sacraments, it can almost just feel like a ritual. You're just sort of, going through the motions, because that's just what you do every month. You read the same passages, You drink, the juice, you eat the wafer, and you're done. But that's not why we do it. We do it to remember the sacrifice that Jesus made. Again, going to the tree of life, remembering that he took our place on the cross. What do we got next? Prayer, communion, teaching. So basically, to summarize, we need to, and it goes back to sort of our DNA, operating from a place of being. First, going to the tree of life, staying connected with Jesus, and then doing all of those things, him through us, they'll be fruitful. And at the end of Acts 2, it says, every day, God increased their number.
David.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's all I got.
David.
Good job.
That's very good. I just gotta say, all day, that's awesome.